Mizuku Aoki from Japan, and in lane 9, closest to the camera, the home of Eurovision 2026, the Austrian Timon More. I don't want people to think, by the way, that I'm totally focused on Eurovision, but Australia was robbed. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I've got nothing more to say about that. We are underway. Can Thomas Green get a bit of revenge from us for Australia over the Austrian? That's not what it's all about. Don't worry about that, folks. Look at this start. So we are seeing now, I think it's the Slovakian Samuel Balaz and the German Jakob Thordsson who've gone out. Thomas Green is with them there from Australia, and then a good line across the course in 4th position. But it is Balaz from Slovakia, Thordsson from Germany, and Green from Australia who've gone out, taken the early lead. 3 boats will go straight through to the A final, the next 3 to the B final. So there's a lot at stake here. These boys, they haven't come here for a stroll. They really want to race for gold in this prestige event. This is the Olympic event, of course, the men's K1 1000, one of the most gut-wrenching events on the program. And it looks like maybe now, Emma, Jakob Thordsson, look, you could not, as they go past the next markers, there's not much between them.
No, there's not. And I was really impressed by Thordston in his heat. He looked really impressive. Along with Tom Green, to be honest, he led for most of his heat, just lost a bit of ground in the back end stages of the race. But he has a great running speed to his boat. So I've been impressed by him over the last couple of weekends. But you can't really put much between these 3 boats at the start. Balaz, Thordston and Green taking it out. I would expect these 3 to be our 3 that will go through to the A final. But in which order is what we're going to find out. So Thomas Green just leading at the halfway spot from Balaz and then Thordston. But it really is very, very close between those 3 athletes. We haven't seen a race quite this close at this stage so far in this World Cup here in Poznan. And that must be a lovely feeling to be there alongside paddlers, knowing that you are literally fighting for those spots.
Yeah, question time now for these athletes. Do they just settle now to get into the final, or do they want a really good middle lane for the final? Thordson's got a very strong finish, so I've been watching him over the last 200 metres. I guess if they can look across, there's probably no real threat to them at the moment. Samuel Burgo from Italy is trying to make up the difference, but he's a fair way back, to be honest. I don't think there's enough water there for him to rope in these top 3. Tom Green just edging ahead now from Balaz. Thordsson biding his time in the middle there. Just watch his finish. If he really is desperate to win this, he will dig deep, but maybe he's just taking the foot off the pedal here a little bit, just conserving a little bit of energy. That's what it looks like to me, Emma. He's not too fussed, I don't think, about winning this semi-final. Just happy to get into the final and then to have another crack at it. Tom Green still putting in the hard yards, although maybe the 3 of them now are starting to think, well, we've got the job done. I think of all of them, Samuel Balaz is the one who's still really putting in the hard yards. Tom Green, to me, seems to be just working his way back through the gears as he heads up towards the finish line. But it is Samuel Balaz from Slovakia, Tom Green from Australia, Jakob Thordsson definitely, I think, now cruising to the finish line, as is Tom Green. Look at that. That's a very leisurely style from Tom Green. They're happy to let Samuel Balaz go out and take the glory, and he's done it in style. Green and Thordsson, it's like they're off for a picnic. Tom yells out to Jakob, "Did you bring the basket?" "Yes." "Tom, did you bring the blanket?" "Yes." "Excellent. Where are we going to have our picnic? Why don't we have it right here at the finish line in this semi-final for the men's K1 1000? That's what it looked like. But well done, Samuel Balaz, getting the job done. But those 3 paddlers, Emma, had the race locked away from the halfway stage of that event.
Absolutely. They started strongly, and then once they got into their rhythm, it was really clear that it was going to be between these 3. I think Poznan as a course, it isn't usually that laney, so I don't think they'll necessarily be super concerned about the lane draw. I think people do like to be in the middle of the race, but they looked pretty comfortable with just cruising their way into the final. And it's funny you talked about a picnic. My first ever international race, Ross, back in 2013, the night before I had a dream, and I was paddling my boat, and halfway down the course I looked in my lap and I saw this beautifully packed sandwich, and I stopped and opened it and ate it, which I clearly couldn't do in my boat. because I would fall in. But that was my dream that I had the night before my first international race. So there must be some great picnics that you can have when you're out canoeing, but maybe not on the international stage.
Well, and I reckon there'll be some dream analyzers who are watching this broadcast who can maybe let us know what is the meaning of Emma's dream there, that she had a sandwich in her lap. Better that than dreaming that you looked down and you had a huntsman spider.